Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Geographic. The original version of this complication debuted on JLCs back in 1989. And by the late 1990s, we'd worked towards the style and the case size you see right here. This one I believe to have been introduced in the early 2000s, and by that I mean the exact example in my hand, I believe to be early 2000s, due to the absence of tritium on the dial and the presence of Jaeger-LeCoultre's second generation folding clasp, which would not have been featured in the mid-1990s. Taking a look at the case, it's 38 millimeters in diameter, in red gold, nicely sized, 11.7 millimeters thick, 46.2 lug-to-lug. It has a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw this watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. You'll see it wears quite nicely. It is a hunter case back and a complication, but despite that, it is a fairly thin watch and it will slip easily under a dress cuff. This will wear easily on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters, and my wrist is 16 centimeters. Taking a look at the strap, you can see alligator leather, rectangular, large, medium, and small scale. Very dark brown, though not the darkest, with some red undertones. We've got a sheer cut edge lacquered for refinement, a monotone stitch, calf skin unbroken, no crimping, no gouging on the bottom. You can see this is a JLC factory strap. We have that second generation JLC folding clasp. The first generation was flat inside. It was just two pieces that drew together and snapped shut. The second generation features this channel down the center with a contrast between polish and satin that made the clasp a little bit stronger. And so that's the second generation. This would have been phased out on new watches as of 2006, I believe. Taking a look at the case, you can see it's relatively simple and strong. The lugs are narrow when viewed end-on, though sheer and massive when viewed in profile. There's a little bit of a soft bevel on the edge of the lug. The bezel stepped in somewhat to visually thin the watch out. A JL-branded crown. You can see it sits fairly low on the case band because this is a modular complication on top of the 889 base. More on that in a moment. Now the Geographic is interesting because it's sort of a hybrid of a world time and a dual time. There are two time zones, but we also have reference cities down at the bottom. And of course these reference cities like Caracas often change or even jump around over the years on world times and geographics. So it's always a sign of the times from when the watch was made. Now you see we have a hacking function, power reserve indicator for the 40-hour power reserve. There is a pointer date, which is adjusted using a pusher on the case flank. We've got the geographic display for the cities, and then we've got the secondary time zone, the place where you are not, right there. Now I can change these cities, and as you could see, as I do so, whether it's Chicago, now let's go to Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a nice city. I love it. Much warmer than Philadelphia in the winter. Now you can see I've got two different time zones. In LA, you can see that it's probably approaching, let's complete the setting right there. In LA, it's now 7, and you want to know, is it AM or PM? Well, let's back up a little bit. You can see here as we back up towards 5, it's 5 a.m. because as we move backwards, it's getting dark. Now as we move forward from 5 a.m., it's getting light. So now you can see here that this is a 12-hour format display, but it has an AM-PM aperture that lets you know whether you're looking at day or night. For the time at center, you know you're looking at AM or PM based on whether the date jumps. Now we just rolled through midnight, and we're looking at 5 in the morning. Now I pull the crown out to the intermediate position, and I can set that secondary time zone, and you can see the day-night indicator will travel with it. So I'm able to set that. Of course, you're probably asking at this point, how do I desynchronize the minutes? And the answer is you don't. They're going to wind up with the same minute display. So if you're looking at a really weird time zone that's 45, 30, or 15 minutes separated, some airports have weird time codes like that. It can't quite keep up with that. You're just going to have to do some mental gymnastics. The dial is beautifully done. As you can see, deeply dished with a lot of focal planes, textures, tones, colors. You can see there's a little bit of an azurage in the sub-registers. We've got blue, we've got red, we've got silver, we've got black. And the way the geographic system works is it basically does the math for you as you move through different reference cities. 24 references for the 24 principal time zones of the world. And then you see we have these applique dart style indices for the hours, the JL logo applique, the Dauphine hands at center. There is a little bit of lume. We'll take a look at it now. So not a ton of lume, but some. Hunter caseback, as you can see back when the Master 1000 hour control was still considered to be a fairly exceptional thing. There weren't a whole lot of in-house standards that went beyond COSC. Master control was really the first one back in 1992, and so you see the initial Master 1000 hours control logo and then the individual numbering, the control number for this watch as it went through. The watch would have been tested fully cased up for chronometry, power reserve, winding efficiency, water resistance, and durability. In 1,000 hours, it's about 41.6 days. 50 meters water resistance, so more than the dress watch standard of 30. You still don't want to submerge it, though, because it's not a screw-down crown. Let's open up the caseback. Hunter casebacks give you the best of both worlds. You get all the inherent value and weight of having a giant piece of gold on the back of your watch, but then you also get the display caseback. And as you can see in here, it is based on the 889, right down to the 889's distinctive reversing rocker system, the jeweled reversing wheels, and bidirectional automatic winding, 4 hertz beat rate. This was back when JLC pulled no punches with a 22 karat, not 21, not 18 karat mass on the rotor for efficiency, and 6 position adjustment, not 5 or nothing. So that is one more than a standard chronometer adjustment. 38 joules, of course, we have the complication module on top of the 889 base, which means this gets a new name. This is now the 9293, I believe. So what we're looking at here is the geographic complication on an 889 base. We have stripes, we have engine turning, we have true fire blued screws, which I always appreciate, KIF shock protection, and a Triovis micrometric adjustment system. 4 hertz, once again, it is a 40-hour power reserve, and it has the hacking seconds function you saw earlier. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.